All right, this is recording 794. So this podcast is titled Listen Next 794. You can find me at ChristinaStation918.com. You can also find me at SpeakingToTheCIA.com. I'm going to continue turning in Jean Jernigan Roberts. Okay, so more on outputs. I'm sorry, she short-circuited my short-term memory, so I couldn't get this in the last recording. Another output I did, which was an inject, but it wasn't an inject from Jean. It wasn't an inject while I was sleeping, which is what Jean does. It was something that somebody did in my brain while I was awake. I can see in my brain visually. Anyway, it's freaking hilarious. It had me laughing. I was like, I can't wait till Jean is arrested. But anyway, it is one of my dad's friends. He's a retired Vietnam veteran, and he's in his late 70s. I did a chat GPT output of him, and it came out freaking is equally precious as hilarious, because the way the guy looks in the output, it doesn't matter if you're in your late 70s. You're a Marine. That's who you are on the inside, even though people see, no, that's just the old guy. No, he's a Marine. He will fuck you up. An actual Marine. Not a bunch of fucking, sorry, she's inserting curse words in my sentences. Not a bunch of douches pretending they're the lovers of the Marine Corps. That would be the fake-ass militia trying to frame them. Anyway, so remember I told you what he did? He took Gene Roberts. He took a spin-off, and he was being serious. He took a spin-off of the movie 9 to 5 with Dolly Parton. And he took Gene Roberts, who keeps planting her ass in my brain in my dad's Adirondack chairs and on his back patio. And then she'll say she's me, because there's a picture of me and Terry Cedarholm sitting next to each other, but we're not sitting in the Adirondack chairs. We're sitting in the back. She sits herself in front of me in the Adirondack chair, and then she puts my dad in the one on the left. She does this in my brain all the time. And then she'll claim she's me. Or she'll claim and so he kicked her ass out of the effing chair. Then he freaking tied a rope around her. And next thing I can't see him tying the rope around her, but he's showing me this. He shows her strung suspended with the pulley system from the ceiling inside my dad's kitchen. She's literally hanging from the kitchen. She's hanging by her waist, and you have to see the 9 to 5 movie, because she thinks she's like Mrs. Mob Queen and Mrs. Mob Boss. She's really the leader of a goddamn satanic occult committing terrorism everywhere, acting like she's everyone's lover and best friend and all this other. Now, even her controlling my speech right there. She's just a scumbag. But anyway, so then the rope extends from her being tied up there through the kitchen, through the living room, then out through the sliding glass doors and around to where the Adirondack chair's on the back porch. And he's sitting in the Adirondack chair, and he's got his hand on the rope, and he's rocking back and forth. And so he's moving her up and down with the pulley system. It's hilarious. He's he knows that Gene Roberts is guilty. He knows what a horrible person she is. And it is the funniest freaking thing in the world to see a Marine freaking hanging Navy Gal 27. And now I've got her strung up as a flag on a United States Navy ship, asking the United States Navy to demand her arrest. Anyway, so moving forward, in Oklahoma City, remember I told you she put lithographs everywhere? See all my podcasts on all the lithographs, okay? So some of the, like I told you, some of those lithographs stayed permanent and some of them faded away. All right. You'd have to go into my son's apartment and you would have to investigate everything, the entire apartment, to see what she did. Okay. Because you could easily, using forensics, figure out what she did. But anyway, so the lithographs that she put all over the floor stayed permanent. I actually got pictures of those. The ones that she put at the top of the top of the wall that came across over into the ceiling, all those faded away. Okay. The ones on the floor where she put polka dotted J's all over the floor and she put little hoof prints claiming she was Vladimir Putin all over the floor. And then she was drawing pictures of snakes. And then she was claiming it was Eminem. And Eminem's like, I did not do that. I did not do that. I did not do that. I had connections to hip hop at the time. And this is what was told to me. They were obviously in connection to me, but they didn't know that she did all that unless they could hear the communication in my brain. But she had me censored, so they probably couldn't hear or see everything. And then she drew little black crosses on the floor, 3 little black crosses. And then all the hoof prints, they were all over the place. The little polka dotted J's were everywhere, and the hoof prints were up and down the hallway into the kitchen. It was everywhere. So I got pictures of the ones that stayed permanent, but the ones that faded away, they faded off. Okay, so what she did there was she was controlling my son. She was controlling me. She was controlling our addresses. She was breaking in. And they have always had problems with her breaking in. Okay, this goes all the way back to the 70s. Okay, so she would break into my mom and Jeff's house in the 70s. Jean Roberts would. She has stalked us all of our lives. And then I was told a mental telepathy by my ex-husband's friends that she was breaking into his parents' house when he used to have like a really, his parents used to have like a really nice house. I guess he grew up in a really, really nice house in Texas. And whatever house that was, wherever that was, she was breaking into that house too. So she loves to break into people's houses. She runs a whole breaking and entering racket. So, and that's what she does today. Today, she claims she's doing it for a cause. Just forget the fact that she's been buying, selling, abusing children for 60 years. Now she's their savior. And now she's breaking and entering for a cause. Just go with her shit. Just go with her lies. Just let her get the fuck away with everything. Anyways, so she controls and routes me here. I move into green country. I'm blessed to be in green country. I love it here. But while I get my life together, I still have the opportunity, and I do have open cases against her of turning in Jean. So this is what she did here, sewing and stitching this all together. So she's using ice on the actual owners of this house, and she's using ice on the people that have always lived in this house to control in an arranged environment that meets her psycho needs. Okay, so you got to keep life as it is and realize this lady stole artificial intelligence and is using it to control people. Okay, so this is what she did here. So in the backyard, the letter J, I was shown this, she's got a gigantic letter J in the backyard. So there's bricks in the backyard in a circle. Okay, the way that she has the lawn, like growing, like looking naturally growing, it's making a gigantic letter J. Okay, so those bricks are forming a gigantic letter J. Okay, and see all the other code on the entire backyard. Okay, where she's referring to the back patio as a ship, and which is supposed to be the Titanic. So you have to see all my podcasts, and then everything else, they all code on everything else. Okay, so then you know what else she did? Someone went and put what looks like a lithograph by using something on the wall by the back patio door. And it looks like a fire poker. And where it's arranged is exactly at the same line where all those lithographs that covered the entire wall and then the entire top of the wall, entire ceiling in Oklahoma City. So she's trying to be like MK Ultra, super creepy psycho. So whoever did that is probably the same person that messed with your back door, removing hinges from the door. So it's not just Green Country that's being stalked. She's doing this to the entire city of Tulsa, but wherever I'm at, because I've got the evidence against her, she's going to stalk even more. So she's ripping up businesses. She's ripping up residences. She's ripping up cars. She's ripping up families by trying to create an environment that caused fights between families. Well, her and her very sick people who are obsessed with fingers and thumbs and toes, very nasty people, satanic people. They are Charles Manson. Get away with everything. But they're the pillars of society. They're just protecting the children. This is what they're doing. So people are like trying to attack me back while I am trying to turn in Gene. The only people that would be attacking you back would be the Charles Manson occult. So anyway, finding out who put that on the wall is probably like worth a lot of freaking money to the actual Secret Service. So anyway, so that is, she's using the lithograph there. And then they showed me the wood in the backyard is supposed to be her Betsy Ross XO stitch sew work. You know, she uses Betsy Ross XO as her alias, Jean Jernigan Roberts. And then she'll tell you that it's not African Americans. Even though maybe African Americans have fallen for it. But I keep telling them, do not fall for Jean Roberts shit. She is trying to make it look like you're guilty for a crime you did not commit. Do not let her dictate to you. You need to understand that is a white supremacist using artificial intelligence, pretending that she's a cherub or a Valkyrie or whatever the hell she's doing, and then leaking shit out and then spreading lies out into the community. That is a Ku Klux Klan expletive that is doing that. Anyway, so the wood is supposed to be the crosses. So they said the hoof prints, which look like a fawn's footprints, like a half goat, half man, which would go to 86, the Three Billy Goats Gruff, where she was stalking me and my friends in high school. Okay, and you know, she iced us. You know, she trafficked us. You know, she filmed us, trafficked us, sold us, and then tried to sell African Americans a lot. Just go with it. Just go with it. We'll kick you off something. No, they don't need the Ku Klux Klan as an intermediary to try to piecemeal them when they can freaking just turn your ass in. They're not in any little deals with you. You might have hustled them in the beginning, but there is no hustling anyone African American now. Not going to go along with you freaking using ICE on babies, children, and adults, trafficking the holy shit out of them, and then you acting like you're their honky fucking protector. You're with your You know, also that late. Well, okay, they're trying to jump ahead to what I'm getting ready to turn Jane in for again. So anyway, so they look like. So they said that looks like what she did using horticulture, using ice and horticulture on the tree. And I'm like, that's not what the hoof print looked like. I mean, it looked like that, but not look like that. And then she's trying to tell lies about the tree to cover it up. But I mean, you can always expect filth and grime and shit and lies and scum and douchery from Gene Roberts. You're going to have to dismiss all of it because it's all crap, lies, smut, shit that she uses to make money to commit crime with. And you get down to what she's really guilty for. And people that attract to her vermin are verminous people. So, I mean, it's really a filtering system. If you're a shitty person, you're going to stay attracted to shitty shit. There are regular ass people that get sucked into Gene's shit. But they figure it out real quick and they're like, no, I don't want any part of you. So anyway, okay, so moving forward. Okay, so also someone pointed out to me in my last podcast, look what she did to Steve Doocy's name on Fox News. And people started cracking up. They're going to give him hell. They're going to give him hell. But they're like, well, then Conan O'Brien doesn't have to feel alone because she created his stage name too. So look what she did to Steve Doocy's name. And then see my previous podcast. So again, I'm telling you, Gene Roberts is a stalker. And boy, she loves her some Brian Wilson as well. Steve Doocy is a blonde. I told you, Gene loves her some freaking blondes. So anyway, okay. Also, I already decoded this and people have already figured this out, but I'm asked to bring it up again. So also note what she did icing and notice these are all, and I've already talked about this in my previous podcast, how the talk show craze that we went through in the 90s. I mean, everybody, including myself, everybody loved all these talk shows that were on. You could watch talk shows all day long. That's future signs of the silent wars. So this, and just like today, what's really popular still is Big Brother. So she iced all these shows, controlling the production of these shows. So people look back at time and they go, oh my God, ooh, hippie, trippy. But they don't blow it off like, ooh, hippie, trippy. No, they see that a terrorist with ICE has been trying to control Hollywood, which has been Gene Roberts and her Manson occult. So anyway, she lives on Jerry Street in Milton, Florida. And Jerry Springer, so Springer, then Spawn Ranch. Okay, and then what always happens on Jerry Springer? It didn't used to be like this in the beginning, but towards the end, what happened? People would break into fights. It would constantly be brawls and fights and stuff on the show. It was like people were addicted to the show because it was like watching a train wreck on TV. It was hilarious. But you have to remember, that was, even though she was icing it, I'm just talking about the show itself, not her icing it. Her icing it is in the background, controlling all of it, but what we see is the output. We just see the regular TV show. So it's funny, it's just regular TV, but it's signs of the future silent war. She's Charles Manson, and what does she want? She wants fighting and brawls everywhere. And then also note, who did he make his bodyguard on TV? The bald guy. And what's his name? Steve Wilkos. So again, Gene Roberts did that too. The criminal acting like the cop, and she's bragging about it in plain sight. So I have more to record. I'm going to end this recording here, and then I'm going to pick up on another one.